Jabba, sweet and high. Whoop, Mr. Motorama Coffee Spot.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Welcome, everybody, to Fueled by Deathcast. This is episode 119, and we're getting up there in numbers, and it's exciting every single week here on the show. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff, and I love it if you took a second and followed us on social media. Me personally, it's very easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee on all social media, and you can follow the show now on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook, all at Fueled by Deathcast. And I've been trying to do a little bit more of behind-the-scenes stuff and some fun stuff on our social platforms. So please give us a follow, give us a like, and I'll see you on the interwebs. I do want to take a second here at the top of the show, here on episode 119, to address something that we addressed earlier on the Fueled by Death show. And if you guys don't know, this podcast, Fueled by Deathcast, comes out every single Thursday on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Music, iHeartRadio, and everywhere podcasts can be found, including deathwishcoffee.com. But that's not the only thing we do. We also do the Fueled by Death show, which is a live and pre-recorded entertainment-based show every single Wednesday night on the Death Wish Coffee Company Facebook page. Now, both of these are my passion project. I love doing them. I love bringing them to you guys every single week. And up until recently, I had a co-host. You're probably wondering where the amazing D-Man might be. And if you haven't been watching the show on Facebook Live, you probably haven't heard the news. The amazing D-Man, Dustin, has been working very, very hard for Death Wish Coffee Company for the last few years in our logistics department, and all of that hard work has paid off, and he has been given an incredible opportunity to lead that department as we grow this company into the powerhouse that it has become. But unfortunately, that means he will not have the time to be able to put towards making this show and the podcast like he used to. And as sad as I am to see him go, I'm very happy to see him on his new journey. And he's still here. We're going to get him on some special segments and some special episodes, and hopefully on an employee episode coming up. Speaking of that, that's this week, and I'll get into that very, very soon. I do want to start the show like I always do, though, and thank our good friend Brock Powell, BrockVox.com. You can follow Brock Powell at BrockVox across all social media and see all the cool stuff he's getting into as a voice actor. This guy works harder than anybody I've ever met, and it shows. He's working with some of the best people in the business. He is currently multiple voices on the Disney Channel show Milo Murphy's Law, as well as video game voices, amusement park rides, toys, you name it, he'll voice it. And you get to follow along with his journey on all social media. It's really, really cool, and we love Brock so much here at Death Wish Coffee. And speaking of Brock and podcasts, I want to segue into some of our favorite podcasts. This is, at its core, our podcast, Fueled by Deathcast here. And as much as I'm excited that you guys are watching and listening at home, I really would love it if you checked out some of our friends who also have podcasts as well. And Brock is one of those. You can go over to iTunes or anywhere podcasts are found and find the Unpop podcast. Brock, Curtis, and Austin and special guests, they get together sporadically and give unpopular opinions on some of the craziest pop culture stuff out there, including movies, and even their newest episode was all about the Oscars, and I dare you to listen and not just burst out laughing. I love that show so much, and all those guys, you definitely should go check that out. Another friend of the show who just got into the podcast game and is crushing it is Ricky Rackman. And if you've never heard me talk about Ricky Rackman, he was a guest on this very show way back in, I believe, the 30s, episode 34 maybe-ish. I don't know. You can go back and find his episode. We're going to get him back on as a guest, but he's doing his own podcast now called the Cathouse Hollywood podcast where he regales stories from that infamous club that he used to run right on the Sunset Strip down in California. And he just did a live taping of that in LA, which that episode, part 1 of 2, actually hit this week. So you guys are going to want to check that out. Again, you can find that on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found. And that's not everything that Ricky does. Ricky also has another podcast called 19 Minutes with Ricky and Leah, and that's him and Leah Vendetta. And they just talk about anything that they want to talk about. It's a lot of fun to listen to those two banter back and forth. And that's a nice short little podcast that you can digest in a short car ride or even while you're taking a shower or whatever you want. But don't be telling Ricky that I told you to listen to him in the shower. It might weird him out. I don't know. I've also got a few new podcast friends that I wanted to mention. First and foremost, and I hope I wrote the notes down so I don't get them wrong, is a podcast called Chump Change. This is a weekly bite-sized podcast on the new blockchain and cryptocurrency trends, investments, and coinage. And if you're like me, you know absolutely nothing about this cryptocurrency stuff. I watched that documentary on Bitcoin, and I left that documentary knowing very little bit more than I went when I went into watching the episode. So, I mean, it is really confusing, and these guys break it down in short little episodes every single time they put one out, just about how to get into it if you're thinking about getting into it, or if you are into cryptocurrency, what maybe some of the new ones are out there, or one of the ones that you might want to invest in. It's a scary thing, this cryptocurrency, this Bitcoin universe, because it's this money that doesn't exist, but it does exist, and even though it's scary, it is the future, and it probably will have a lot of legs in the years and decades to come. And I think it's important that we all learn a little bit about it. And this podcast called Chump Change is one of the best ways to start. And you can find that wherever podcasts are found. And finally, new friends of the show, East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. Now, I've never hunted, and I've definitely never hunted with a bow. I've shot a bow and arrow a couple times. And I'm not that great, but it's a lot of fun. And these guys do this podcast for hunters and non-hunters alike, just to get everybody back in the woods with some entertaining topics, some evaluation, some evolution of the sport. And it's pretty interesting. They have a very rabid fan base, and like I said, sometimes they have guests on there that know everything there is to know about hunting, and sometimes they have people like me on there who have never hunted a day in their life. It's really entertaining, and if that's up your alley, go check out the East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast. And podcasts are awesome. There's so many good podcasts out there. If you have a hobby or a secret, guilty pleasure, I bet you anything there's a podcast out there for you. So you can go check out all sorts of different podcasts, because podcasts are awesome and we love them all.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
As always, as a thank you for tuning in to the Fueled by Deathcast, you get a super special secret code, all one word, discount of death. That big long phrase, discount of death, you type that in at your checkout on deathwishcoffee.com, and you'll get 12% off every single order you make, just for being a fan of this show. And we want you to save some money, because we're always coming out with brand new mugs, new merchandise, sometimes even some new coffee flavors. You never know what we're going to come out with next, and you're definitely going to want to save that money. So discount of death for 12% off every single purchase. Or, if you're like me, you can use discount of Jeff, because it also gives you 12% off. Okay, this week it is a return to form. We finally, after months away, have a brand new employee episode here at Deathwish Coffee. Ever since we started this podcast, I've loved featuring the employees here at Deathwish, because one thing is for sure, we all kind of came into this like a ragtag bunch of pirates and not knowing really what we were getting into. And we all come from different backgrounds, and yet we're all on this same journey to caffeinate the world with the world's strongest coffee. And so the last few months, we haven't been able to put together an employee episode. Everybody's been really busy in the end of the fourth quarter into the new year, but things have started to even out a little bit. And I've got one of the killers of our production floor on the show this week, and that's Mathias Tyler. He joined the company a lot like I did. He was a fan of Death Wish Coffee before he was an employee. So this job is almost like a dream come true for him, and it really shows. We talk about his day-to-day duties on the production floor. We talk about what it's like to be a fan of the company that you're actually now a full-fledged employee for, as he's worked here for almost a full year at this point. And we also, of course, nerd out a little bit, too, because he really likes his video games, including Final Fantasy, which we talk about a lot, which was a lot of fun for me. So mugs up this week, the one and only Mathias Tyler.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Let's start kind of before Death Wish Coffee with you, because we're now, as a company, in a spot where someone like you now has joined the team, is an integral part of the team, but you were a fan first.
Huge fan.
And I kind of want to start there. Like, what did you do before you started working for Death Wish Coffee? What were you doing?
As far as job-wise?
Yeah, as far as job.
I've been, like a lot of us, in the restaurant business for 25 years, for the most part.
I hear it. Back of the house, right?
Back of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a chef, line cook. I've done it all. Any type of food, I know how to cook it.
Yep.
I've been in a few warehouse jobs. I've a few gas station jobs, but logistics and warehouses, I really fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. It's just the pace of it, the hard work, the labor of it. It tickles my bone.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so, okay, on that, you're a local, you're working in restaurants, you're working in, warehouses and stuff like that. When did you find out about Death Wish? Did you just hear about it because of being a local?
No, well, yeah. I was living in North Greenbush at the time. I think it was 2015. I stopped at a gas station, get gas, cigarettes, coffee, or whatever, and I seen a big, heavy set dude with the hoodie.
Yeah.
And I walk up, I'm like, what's this all about? He's like, and he told me it's a local company, right in our own backyard, killer coffee. So I was stoked about it, So I went home, I Googled it, found it, and a week later, had it mailed, and that was it. Done. I didn't have a grinder, so I got the ground first.
Yeah.
Went straight to whole bean right after, because I used to grind my own coffee with, other brands, but at the time I was drinking crap.
Yeah.
Just whatever. And, I'd spoil myself once in a while on a good bag of coffee. But that first bag of Death Wish, man, it blew me away.
Do you know what around what time frame that was? What year?
I want to say it was probably a couple months. It was around my birthday, actually. I think it was a couple months after the
Super Bowl commercial?
No, the newscast.
Oh.
When it was on Good Morning America. Yeah.
So, this would be 2013, 2014, around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And then I remember voting for the Super Bowl, and that was epic. I was so stoked about that. That was cool.
I mean, as employees of this company, we're still stoked about that. In fact, I just went to a rock concert last night, and people were coming up to me still saying, oh my God, Death Wish Coffee, I saw you guys in the Super Bowl, and this is years later.
Yeah.
It'll never go away. Yeah. It's incredible. So, a big fan of the company then, what drew you to it? Was it just the blend of the coffee? Was it
mainly
the
yes,
aesthetic?
because I was never big on Facebook, never really followed Facebook. My first mug wasn't until the 2017 mug, the annual mug. That was the first mug I got. It was the 2016 stamp that went on Amazon, the smaller one.
Yep.
That was my first mug. And I've gone to Saratoga Coffee Traders a few times, and I walked past mugs, and to this day I regret not buying any of them because now I can't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
But it was always the coffee. I loved the coffee. I've always been a coffee nut my whole life. I started drinking coffee when I was 13, 14 years old, with a ton of sugar. But now, Death Wish is probably the only coffee I can drink black. I still add a little cream of sugar or whatever, milk and sugar, but I can drink Death Wish coffee black and still really enjoy it.
I agree.
So
And so fast forward to getting a job here, because again, I wanted to reiterate this, like, you and I are a different breed of employee at this company. So many of the people at this company, like Eric Donovan and Kane and Taya, they were there in the basement of Coffee Traders, from the beginning, before even Good Morning America. Yeah. And as the company grew, even a lot of the people that were going in there were just like, what is this weird Death Wish coffee? But you and I were fans before we knew about the company. We knew about what it was, the coffee was all about, what the community was all about. Yeah. So what was it like joining the team, coming in on your first day? How long have you been working here now?
April 16th, 17th will be a year.
So it will be a year, right? So about a year ago, you come and join the team. What was that like? What was it?
It was probably the greatest feeling in the world. Man.
Really?
It really was. I was working in a restaurant down in Clifton Park, and I never really thought about applying. I always thought it was like a tight-knit family type of business. I never really realized that they would hire outside. And my girl, she was on the website just scrolling around, and just light bulb went off, looked for careers. Couldn't find it. So she called, she talked to Kristen, who was here at the time, and she got the link for me, and I updated my resume. Took me about 3 months to, get everything situated to switch over for a job. I applied. Took a couple weeks. I got the call, come in for the interview. Second interview, boom. Charlie and Chocolate Factory. My first day. I was so stoked. Oh my God. I just walking around, the smell of the place, it was phenomenal. I mean, I'll never forget it. And to this day, I don't consider it a job. I feel like I have a career.
That's awesome.
It really is. I mean, I want to see myself, I see a future for myself in this company. Yeah. It's a great feeling working here.
I think one of the greatest things, and we've talked to a lot of employees on this show, and that's why I loved, inviting you guys on the show to talk, because it's a running theme that we're not working for lack of, let's use a crappy example, but for not working for like a Folgers. Yeah. Where you're working for a corporation, you punch your time card in the morning, you do your job, you punch your time card at the end, and you're done. Yeah, we all seem to really believe in this brand, believe in the company, believe in the career that this can turn into.
I have a lot of faith in the company.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time and energy and effort into working here. I come in. It's not a punch on the clock. I come in, and there's times I forget to punch the clock because I go straight to work.
Me too.
I enjoy being here. I love doing it. I love doing what I do. For the last month or so, I've been grinding. Been like the only grinder.
Yeah.
And last week or the week before, I think it was the week before, I either broke records or I made a record on how much coffee I ground. Just over 27,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
What time period?
In a week.
In a week. That's crazy.
I think it's cooler to say 14 tons.
14 tons in a week. That's a lot of coffee. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah. So, we're a little ahead, and but I love it, man. I get a rush. I really do, and being on the floor with the guys, I mean, we have a good time. You know, it's not really work. It's coming in, you're working, you're having a good time. It is. It's a family.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I really enjoy being here.
And let's kind of go even forward still. From being here for a full year, how do you feel the company has changed in that year? Like the growth, the direction. How do you feel like? Where do you think we're going, kind of thing?
We're getting our hands into everything.
Yeah.
And we're so open to put our hands everywhere. I want to see, getting into environments that really suit us, like in the gaming industry, concerts, just getting everywhere. And that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
The fact that we're in how many supermarkets now?
I can't even, I begin to lose count. Yeah.
It's amazing how far we've extended everything. It blows me away in such a short time.
Yeah.
And when we had our last company-wide meeting, where we got heads up of what the next year or two is going to be like, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I really am. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes, and there's going to be a lot going on, and it's just going to blow us up. I can't wait.
Yeah,
it's so exciting.
It is crazy to think about that. This little company, and that we get talked to by other companies and in other industries, even of like, how are we sustaining what we do? Because at the end of the day, and a lot of people don't know this, we are a small business. We are under 50 employees.
Yeah.
Still, as I'm talking to you, under 50 employees, and we're not just producing coffee. We're producing incredible merchandise. We are sponsoring things like NASCAR and New York Comic Con and fueling bands like Metallica and Slayer and
insane.
And doing all this stuff and constantly, new opportunities show up and we're always just like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's exciting. It's everything about what we do is exciting.
Yeah,
I get a kick out of all of it, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a really fun job. Cool.
Yeah. For sure. So speaking on fun, let's go to the other side of it. When you're not at the 9 to 5, what do you like to do for fun? You got any like fun hobbies?
Yeah, I mean, right now, because of the winter, I really don't do much, but I'm more of an outdoorsy, yard work, whatever. I like to do stuff outdoors. I'm more of a homebody for the most part. I some gaming, nothing crazy. I got PS4, I play it once in a while.
Do you have a favorite video game?
Final Fantasies.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Dragon Balls.
Yes. Yeah, you are a big Dragon Ball fan.
A huge Dragon Ball fan.
That's awesome.
But I'm waiting for Final Fantasy VII Remake to come out. Sooner or later, they say it's going to be this year.
They said that last year and the year before.
But I've seen trailers for it, and it looks epic.
Let's nerd out for a minute. Out of all the Final Fantasies, is 7 your favorite?
7 and 8 were great. My favorite was the one that got me hooked on Final Fantasy. I think it was Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. For Super Nintendo, it was. Are
you talking about it? Was it? Yeah. Was it 6? Was it the one with Kefka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 6, but I think it was Final Fantasy 3.
It was 3 in
Japan.
In Japan, or it was 3 here, and it was 6 in Japan, or something like that. Yeah. That's the one that got me hooked too.
Yep. That's where the ultimate weapon, where the energy ball comes up.
And all the summons and all the characters. There were 13 freaking characters in that. Yep. Like that game. I probably sunk in one summer easily 200 hours into that
endless
game.
Hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember just spending weekends in my room just.
Yep. That's the one that got me. That's the one that got me hooked too, and and it's great because I remember being a kid playing that game and being like, "Holy crap!" It was like the first RPG I ever played too, so that got me into the whole RPG aspect and everything, and I really, really gravitated towards that. And I remember thinking even then, man, I wish I could play this everywhere. Yeah. I have it on my phone now. Yeah.
Here.
And it's awesome. It's cool. I don't play it all the time, but the last few iterations of my iPhone, I have Final Fantasy VI on it. And every now and again, I'll just click it and I'll fight a couple battles and do some stuff. And
it's cool. It's nostalgic.
Because young me, if I didn't have it on my phone, young me would be like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, why don't you have this?"
Yeah.
Have you played any of the newest ones, like 15?
Yeah, I played 15. I wasn't too crazy, but it's just
into it.
Not. I mean, when I play Final Fantasy, I'm always looking for that old feel.
Yeah.
See, 7 was great. 8 I thought was great because you get how they used to junction all the materia and everything.
Remember that.
That was cool.
That was fun.
Everything, all your materia did something with something.
Yeah.
And it just boosted the levels or whatever. But it was cool. The idea was cool. And then 9 got cartoony.
Very.
And 10 was cool.
I like 10. It got way too much into, what was it, Blitzball?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was like its own game in itself, and it was like, why am I doing this?
When you're walking, you're on a course. So you don't get to free walk anywhere, really.
Right.
It's 12. I think it was 12. 11 or 12.
11 was the MMO. I never played 11. That was the online one.
I think 12 was kind of similar to the older ones, and then 13 was, I think, 13 with lightning.
Yeah.
And that was okay. I got like halfway into it, and then I got to that one boss. I just couldn't get past it. Then I stopped playing.
Yeah.
But
I've been the same way. Yeah. I'm excited for. I really hope. Fingers crossed.
Well, they still have it on pre-order on Amazon.
I know,
so, but that's been there for like the last 2 years.
I know.
3 years.
When it comes out, it's gonna
be fun.
Everybody.
They said it's gonna be like a 4-part game. They're gonna release it in 4 parts because they made it so big. So now it's gonna be out in 4 parts. They're gonna release the first disc up to the fourth.
Okay, so ultimate nerd Final Fantasy question, and I apologize for all of our fans out there who are not gamers, but I don't care. We're talking about this. Because I've asked other people this, when they release Final Fantasy VII, do you think they're going to change anything? Actual example, do you think they're going to allow us to get Aeris back?
From what I've seen in the trailers, it's possible.
It's possible. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's possible. I think they will do it.
That was
because so much of the game they're keeping to the original idea of the game, and they're just basically vamping up the graphics and a little bit more of the storyline and adding more stuff to it. But I think originally they want to keep it to what the game originally was.
Right.
So.
And I agree with that, but still to this day, I literally broke a controller in half when Sephiroth came down and killed Aeris because it's not telegraphed.
Yep.
And for those of you who are RPG fans, this character, if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, Aeris, when you get her, she's your healer.
Yeah.
She's your white mage.
Yeah.
So you obviously level the crap out of her.
Yeah.
You give her all the cure magic, and she's your tank for healing.
Yeah.
And then they take her away. I ripped a controller in half. I was very mad.
Yeah. That when he came down and right behind her, I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And still a good game.
So
Great
again,
game.
I would love it if we play up to that point. It still happens, but there's some sort of
something
special dungeon, crazy magical room that you find that you can somehow resurrect her and get her back, and then I've got her back.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I could talk about video games for forever.
Yeah.
What got you on the other side of that? What got you into Dragon Ball?
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah?
Really, Saturday morning cartoons.
The longest fights in Saturday morning cartoons. Fights that would last 3 episodes. The episode would end and they'd still be like, "Rah!"
Still screaming. Yeah. I've watched Dragon Ball for years.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and then they did their little side thing with Kai, and then when they came back with Super, I was just freaking blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. I mean, I got all the DVDs. I got everything, all the movies.
You collect any of the figures or
I
anything?
have. My cave is just filled. Half my cave is Dragon Ball. My other half of my cave is Death Wish.
Dragon Ball and Death Wish. So we got to do like a Dragon Ball Death Wish thing somehow.
Well,
if we can get that license.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
that would be sweet. Well, for my year anniversary, my plan is to get a tattoo, a Death Wish tattoo for my 1 year.
Awesome.
Here, and what I might do is I'm going to do the 7 Dragon Balls, and one of the Dragon Balls is going to be a Death Wish tattoo.
Oh, that is excellent.
Yeah.
And you don't have a Death Wish tattoo yet, right?
Not yet.
Right.
No, I was going to get it when I first started, but I was like, I'm going to wait for my 1 year anniversary, and then I'm going to make it a birthday present
Excellent.
to myself.
Well, this episode's actually coming out right around that time, so
right after.
You'll be having it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the business side of it with Death Wish. You are like me. You're loving how we really just kind of throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. We really want to put our hands into everything. Is there an area that we haven't really gotten into yet that you think that has potential for us? Is there something that we haven't tried that you'd like to see us go for? If you were CEO tomorrow, where would you steer this train?
That's a good question. I mean, it's not so much as new, but put more into some of the things that we've already done. I think, like the Comic-Cons. I mean, that turned out to be a good thing for us.
Yeah.
Keep punching at those.
Yep.
The concerts. We do okay. Do bigger ones.
Yeah.
Like more sporting events. It's kind of tough because coffee and sporting events is a little tough.
Except for when we get our cold brew out.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
God, when are those come out?
We do not have a date as
I want them. That's why.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all do too. It's just finalizing all of the packaging now, and because like you mentioned earlier, we're now in so much of a retail space. So when we released the cold brew the first time, we didn't have that option. So it was on us. We were like, okay, it's ready.
Yep.
Hit the button online and you can buy it now.
Yep.
Now we kind of want to do a two-tiered thing where not only will you be able to buy it online, but hopefully you're going to see it on
Store
shelves
yeah.
in stores. So
that's what I'm stoked
just
about.
finalizing all that kind of stuff. But this year, 100%.
Yeah.
In spring,
And
we're going to see
the
it.
cans look so good, man.
And like you said, with sporting
Beautiful.
events, that's where you want to see that kind of stuff for sure. You know,
that and a lot of like gaming things. I mean,
I really want to
televised gaming. I mean, they have these. I don't know what game it is, but there's like championships.
Overwatch. Counter Strike.
Yep. They do like
Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they do these huge events on TV. It's like almost like a Super Bowl of video gaming.
The Overwatch Championship last year was simulcasted on ESPN, like, I don't know, 4 or
Now
5
imagine
or whatever.
having our banner back there.
I know.
A huge banner of Death Wish, and then all the gamers drinking our cold brew.
It'd be crazy. And I think it's a perfect fit too, because a lot of the gamers, the same reason why we got into the comic book industry. The comic book industry is, these artists and writers who are staying up late hours, working on their deadlines.
Yep.
So what are they doing? They're drinking coffee to keep going. And a lot of these gamers are drinking caffeine too, but they're drinking, all that crap, that Monster and the stuff that's just sugar and chemicals.
I was a
and everything else.
huge Red Bull drinker for the longest time. Before Death Wish, Red Bull all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And
it's a great thing to get you going, but the crash is terrible.
Horrible.
And I mean, when it really comes down to it, you're consuming a ton of sugar. A ton of sugar and a ton of stuff that if you really do want to take care of your body, you're not doing a good job.
That's what I like about our coffee. I mean, you get that wake up, you're feeling good, but if you want to back off of it, you're not.
Right.
You mellow out.
Yeah.
You just come down off the caffeine really mellow and you still function.
Yes.
Crashing off a Red Bull or a Monster, it's just, you're ready to hit the floor.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And the Monsters, I can't stand the taste of those things.
No, I'm never like
the coffees are okay, but there's still all that crap that's in it, so you got to limit.
I think we're very poised to get right into the gaming circuit, not only with branding, but to, give these guys a good drink that's going to keep them up and keep them going, keep them caffeinated, so you can stream for 24 hours if you like.
And it's organic coffee.
Yeah, it's organic, it's fair trade.
It's the best part. There's no crap in it.
There is no crap in it.
But yeah, I think we should, keep with, what we've been getting our hands in and just,
keep pushing.
Grab a fist load of it.
I love it. I love it. So, question we get to on every show. You've been here for a year. You're loving it. Like you said, you feel like you're in this career. What fuels you to keep going? What fuels you to keep coming to work, keep kicking ass, keep doing the things that you love to do?
I want to see the company grow. When I first started working here, the first thing I thought of was in 10 years, all these guys that I work with, in 10, 15 years from now, we're all going to have our own headquarters. All throughout the nation, the world,
the solar system,
and all of us. We're all this. I feel that I got into my position at the perfect time in the company's infancy, because the amount of faith I have in this company that we're going to grow so big that the guys that I'm working with now, we're all still training for 10, 15 years from now to be running our own warehouse.
Yeah.
And we're going to be, fueling the world. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, that just harkens back to it's a good core group of people that work here, but we all kind of have that same mentality that we believe in the product. And it shows in the fan base too. Shout out to the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page on Facebook and all of the fans.
A lot of good people there.
And customers out there. That's why they created that space.
Yeah.
That's why multiple spaces like that exist. That's why people constantly, talk about the company, rep the company. About traveling around and getting recognized with the brand firsthand because you actually went to LA on a
last summer
on a crazy adventure, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
We went out to see a friend. Birthday or something like that, and I put a bunch of swag bags together with stuff that we were giving out at the time. So there's some stickers, patches, keychains, sunglasses, and a few other things here and there. And along the trip, 2 days, if anybody stopped recognized what I was wearing, gave me a shout out or whatever, this or that, and hook them up. Just to get the name out there, and people
What were
loved it.
people's reactions when you gave them this incredible little swag bag of stuff?
Stoked, man.
Yeah?
They were stoked. There's one. The last guy that I
Was anybody
met
weirded out by it? Nobody was.
No, it was no, because most of them actually came up to me and asked me about it, and they
Excellent.
were curious about it, like I was the first time that I first seen it. But there was like this one young couple when I was out in California. They're like, Death Wish, what are you doing all the way out here? And chasing me down the alleyway, so that was cool. That was cool.
It's like a Beatles moment.
Yeah,
Like,
so I hooked them up. I gave them both each their own little bag, and then I met this guy on the way back. He was the last one I met, and this dude Ronnie, and he was actually on a week trip, just meeting people, meeting strangers, and so he did his little thing on his podcast and put our name out there, and it was cool. Meeting people and letting them know, and when they recognize, it's just a cool feeling.
Yeah,
it really is. When you're out and about, and when you constantly wear it every day.
Yep.
I mean, it's part of your wardrobe, not just your workwear.
Yeah.
It's people love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's great working at this company because we don't have a company dress code.
Yeah.
But we all wear the merchandise anyways.
Yeah.
It looks
this is
cool
the only place I've ever worked where I wear my company logo when I'm not working.
Right.
Willingly,
yeah. Exactly. Like there's sometimes I'm like going out to like just something random, like a rock show, or like going bowling or something, and it's like I wear hats all the time, and it's like today I'm not because I'm wearing this shirt, but more often than not I'm like, do I wear this hat or do I wear my Death Wish hat? It's always like, I'll wear my Death Wish hat. It's like, that's awesome.
I mean, and it's like, not only do I invest my time and my energy into the company, I invest my own money back into the merchandise.
Yeah.
I've never done that before in any other job, except for a restaurant if I'm hungry.
Of course.
But that's it.
Of course. Well, that's awesome. And, speaking of a journey, I don't know if you do a lot of social media, but is there a way that people that are watching and listening can follow your journey here at Death Wish?
I'm on Facebook most of the time. I mean, I have Instagram and Twitter, but I mean, Facebook is Mathias Tyler. That's how you can find me.
All right, I'll put that in the show.
I don't post a lot, but
you do post. I know
some. Yeah.
You do post some really cool photos of being on the job, which is awesome. Yeah. And when you went out to LA, you chronicled that whole thing. So you're gonna want to follow us.
That's about all I do, really, on Facebook. I don't really put anything personal on there. If the only time I put anything on is about Death Wish. So
perfect. So that'll be in the show. Yeah. Final question. Death Wish or Valhalla?
Death Wish all the way.
Not even nothing.
No hesitation.
Death Wish all the way.
I've had Valhalla a couple times, and I've had our barrel blends, but Death Wish is my daily. The daily. I'm a weekend Chemexer. During the week, I got the Keurig, but I used the refill pods.
Yeah.
I grind my own bean, so it's right where I want it. And distilled water in my Keurig. Nice, clean cup of coffee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Look, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. This has been a lot of fun talking with you.
It was fun.
We're gonna have quite the journey together for the next few years, I'm sure.
Oh, for more than that, man.
Yeah.
We're here for life.
Excellent.
I am, definitely.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Right on, brother.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.